Alright, what's going on, guys? Today's video is going to be a little different than being in the shop. Obviously we're not in the shop, but I kind of wanted to tell you guys more about myself, more about where I come from, and how I got into cars, things like that. So far I'm 21 years old and I've had 12 vehicles. I feel like that's a lot for a 21-year-old, but then I've seen other YouTubers that are like, oh, I've had 27 and I'm only 16. But over the last few years, I mean, I started when I was like 15, 16, getting vehicles, and I've acquired quite a few since then. Obviously, I don't have them anymore. I only have the Jetta and the 350Z that these videos are all about. But anyway, it started out with a 1.8 Miata. It was a 95, a red, bone stock, 5-speed. It wasn't really mine, it was my dad's car. And I didn't have a car yet when I turned 16. He had a couple of them, so he just let me use the Miata for, I think, about 6 months. I drove that. Drove that around for a while and then decided that I wanted my own. And, well, that was kind of in the plans the whole time. I was supposed to get my own. So my first real car, I would have to say, would be the 03 Nissan 350Z. It was the, I believe they call it Daytona or like Midnight Purple, something like that. I don't know, you guys can correct me in the comments. But that was really my first car that got me into race cars, or whatever these are now. That car was awesome. I loved it, like I just said, but it was an automatic, and that was the only complaint that I had about it. I always wanted 350Z with a manual transmission in it, but I ended up selling that car and then went and bought a red 2002 Mustang, and I'll put the pictures of it up here too. That Mustang had a little more done to it. It was obviously a 5-speed manual because that was the one thing that I wanted. It had aftermarket cams in it. The whole valve train was done too. I didn't do it, and I honestly don't even know what cam was in it, but had full exhaust. I put the electric cutouts on it that were pretty awesome. That was a beautiful car, probably the best shape of a car that I've ever had, and I probably should have kept that one. But anyway, I was stupid. I sold it, and well, let's see, right before that it turned winter, so I had to buy another car. I wasn't going to drive that nice of a Mustang in the snow, so I bought I think it was I want to say like a 96 Cavalier. I don't know, I could be completely wrong, but it was a piece of crap, barely ran. I mean, it got me everywhere I needed to go, but it was like it was the cheap beater car. And I drove that around for a long time, and even into college. But after the red Mustang, I had some money in my pocket and went and bought the 95 Nissan 240SX. And again, the engine had already been swapped in it for me, and it was a fully built RB25. I think the guy said it made like 600 and something to the wheels. That was on low boost, and you could obviously turn that up. He told me it would make like 800 to 900 to the wheels. I don't know, I never tried it, never put it on a dyno. But again, that was something that I bought and didn't build, and it started having issues. I had no idea how to work on it, so I figured that I would end up selling it. And then what I sold it for was, I actually traded it to a guy up in Wisconsin, which is a long way from here if you know where Muncie, Indiana is. Traded it for a 2005 Nissan 350Z, so that would be the second Z that I had. That one was manual on some coilovers, had a good looking set of wheels on it, or at least I thought they were good looking. I ended up putting some bride seats in it with some bride harnesses, an NRG wheel. The first car that I really ever modified myself. Had a straight pipe exhaust on it, probably the best sounding car that I've ever owned. Ended up, during that time, I sold the Cavalier and got a Mazda 6. I think it was a 2005 Mazda 6. and I think I threw a set of wheels on it. I think that was about all I did to it, but it was the touring edition, so it had the heated leather and all that. It was a great daily driver. Drove that around for probably a year. During this time, I sold the 05 350Z and got a silver 02 Mustang. And that car, when I got it home, it said I bought it from a guy up in Iowa, and he gave me the title. It said clean and clear title. Apparently there's some sort of title differentiation between Iowa and Indiana, because when I got it back here, tried to get it titled, said rebuilt title. It had all these issues with it. The mileage wasn't correct, and then when I got into the car, I could see it wasn't straight. It had definitely been in an accident. So that one, that's the worst car I've ever had. I messed up on that one. It was a great looking car, but really should have learned more about the car before I bought it. Luckily, got out of that car and somehow got a lot of money for it. Went and bought my 2003 Audi A4 Quattro Avant, and that car was awesome. I loved it. Had some engine modifications done to it, like big front mount intercooler, bigger turbo injectors. It was like a stage 2 plus unitronic tune, and had a couple other things done to it, exhaust, but the main thing was the airlift system. It was my first bagged car, and it was actually like a really cool experience for me, and I'll probably end up putting another car on bags at some point. I really like the practicality of it, but ended up getting tired of that one. It started running funny too, and again, I had no idea how to work on it. So I mean, I had an idea, but I ended up selling that, and meanwhile, the Mazda 6, ended up having to get rid of that and got the beautiful Jetta that I have you guys sitting on top of right now, on top of this parking garage. But got the Jetta for like 500 bucks, didn't have a trans in it. Went and bought a trans from a pull apart for $100, put it together, drove it home that night, and it's been a $500 daily driver Jetta for about a year now. It's falling apart, it's rusty, it's a piece of crap, but it gets me where I need to go. Then, during all of that time, I made the financial mistake of getting a 1965 Beetle, because all of us Volkswagen guys need more Volkswagens apparently. Bought that, me and a couple of my buddies restored it, and it was a good looking car, as you can see. It had some issues, some rust issues and stuff, and around that time was when I was going back to school. Needed some money, had to get rid of that car. I'm sure I'll end up having another air-cooled, because it was a great experience, and all the air-cooled guys are really cool. Sold that car, had a little money in my pocket after that, and got myself through that year of school. Ended up buying the, as you guys know, 2003 Nissan 350Z shell. It had no motor in it, no tranny, but everything else was there. Bought the LS1 and T56, decided I wanted to go through with it, and started talking to the guys over at Sicky. Got all of their stuff in, got all that put together, and around that time, Wiring Specialties was finally starting to produce their stuff. Got all their stuff, and I mean, that's kind of where we are right now. I'm not going to disclose what I've got coming for you guys in the near future, but it's going to be pretty cool. 12 cars at age 21, I feel like that's something I could definitely be proud of. I'm sure that many of them were a financial mistake, and shouldn't have ever touched them, but that's how I learned, and that's how I've gotten to where I am today. Without any of those cars, trying to fix them, things that I didn't know how to do, I would have never known how to get into the 350Z build that I'm doing now. I would have never had any idea what to do if I hadn't broke the transmission in my first Mustang. I had to rip it out because I didn't have enough money to pay someone else to do it. That's how I learned how to do it. I would break stuff, not be able to afford a mechanic, so I'd have to figure it out. I feel like that's what a lot of people like on this channel what a lot of people searching around YouTube for car videos are looking for. Videos on how to do things, how to put things back together that they might not know how to do, but don't have the money to go pay somebody else to do it. That's kind of what I put this channel together for. People that are like a young Connor out there not knowing what they're doing, trying to make their own way throughout the car community, fix their own stuff and save a little money. I hope this helped a little bit, shows you where my knowledge came from, just a little bit more. Most of it has come in just the last couple of years, and I've got some great friends that always help me out whenever I need help with some car related project. That's what most of it is about. Go out there, meet people, go to car meets, go to car shows, just go to your local shop. Usually all the car guys there are going to be willing to help you and give you at least some advice. I know I've gone to shops before and guys will be like, oh yeah, what's your address, man? I'll come over and help you out. I've done it a million times. One thing about the car community is everybody tries to help everybody. You've always got the people that are going to put down on you and everything, but you can't let those guys bother you. There's going to be 10 other guys out there that are willing to help get your stuff done and get you back on the road. But really, that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it was a little bit informative. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.